Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Soul and I'm here to share with you today regarding a very heavy topic, taboo even. It's regarding PMDD and suicide ideation. So if you are triggered by suicide or topics around it, please do not watch this video. And if you have people around you, your loved ones, or you're battling with this, then maybe this my experience can help you a little bit with this journey. Okay, so it's such a heavy topic. I don't really talk about this to anyone at all. Nobody knows this about myself and about PMDD that I'm battling with. I don't talk to this about anyone because it's so difficult to talk about, to open up myself to anyone regarding this terrible thoughts I have every single month that I have to be at war with. Okay, so if you're a sufferer, I'm sure you understand. For me, firstly, let me just share with you how important this topic is to be addressed, because PMDD literally has killed women, okay? Because suicidal ideation is one of the symptoms. In a 2012 study done with a sample of 4,000 women, reported that women with PMDD significantly more likely than those with no symptoms to report suicidal ideation. And on the website of IAPMD, which this website is excellent, is totally dedicated to PMDD and related disorders. So you might want to check it out. I'll provide a link. Okay, according to that website, 15% of women with PMDD will attempt suicide in their lifetime. Okay, so literally, this disorder can and do have the potential to destroy a person's life. Okay, so we need to talk about it. We need to end this misconception around fertility issue, femininity, and just anything about the reproductive system, because we have been so biased around this topic. Okay, now my experience is that my situation is that 7 to 10 days before my period, I will have PMDD symptoms like the rest of you. Okay, it's different from PMS. PMDD is not PMS. PMS is terrible already, and PMDD is the more severe form of it. Okay, and suicidal thoughts come with PMDD. So how it feels like for me personally, it usually comes 7 days prior, the suicidal thoughts. Okay, it actually didn't start with suicidal thoughts. It's just negative thoughts, like self-deprecating thoughts, like I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, I'll never be as good as others, I'll never accomplish that dream I've always dreamed of, I'll never finish doing that pile of laundry, or this is just bad, everything's just bad. One bad thought leads to another, and these thoughts, for me, it comes up from nowhere, just nowhere. I'm usually a pretty positive person. I don't have a cheerful personality, but it's just like my thought just completely got dissolved and taken over by a different entity of some sort, like being possessed of something. And this thought just, this negative self-talk just start repeating themselves over and over, no matter how hard I try to out-talk these thoughts. Okay, and one thing leads to another, and it creates this suicidal ideation, because it really brings down my self-esteem and self-worth as a person. And then this depression and anxiety around this entire illness called PMDD, the physical symptoms, the pain and the suffering, just leads me to want to I don't want to deal with this anymore. Okay, I want escape. I want it now. I should just end it all. Okay, and these thoughts will be even more severe and prevalent 3 to 5 days before. It just get more and more severe the more it nears my period. Okay, usually 2 days before my period, I would be completely paralyzed by this thoughts. Paralyzed as in I would just be on my bed and couldn't get out of my bed, and this thought just goes round and round in my head. I couldn't move, or I just self-sabotage. I just overeat, sabotage my diet plan, or I don't drink water. Just pretty much just torturing, paralyzed and unable to do anything. Okay, and I just cry a lot, and this feeling that my heart is about to shatter into pieces. Okay, you get the point. Okay, so that is how it is for me. So I want to share with you also how I cope with this over time. It was very, very terrible at first, but over time I learned to have a plan to cope with this symptom. So it is an emergency for me, okay, because sometimes I really want to act on those thoughts. Again, if you are triggered, please do not watch this video. Okay, so what I do is breathe deeply and slowly. Breathe, just tune into the moment. Breathe deeply and breathe out. And I bring myself to the my current senses by naming 3 things I can see, 3 things I can hear, and 3 things I can touch. For instance, 3 things I can see. I can see my laptop. I can see my fingers moving. I can see that my wall is green color. 3 things I can listen. I can hear. I can hear the fan running. I can hear thunder right now. I can hear, you get my point. Just to really not focusing on yourself on those thoughts, and just bring yourself back to reality. Because when we're in those thoughts, we're detached from reality. Okay, our emotions are overwhelming, so we instinctively want to cope with this overwhelming emotions by having these thoughts, but they are dysfunctional. So we need to get out of our head and just move into our body and the present moment and our surroundings, something that is concrete, something that is real. Okay, to get yourself out of those emotions, to level things out. So these are 3 things I do to make myself integrate into the reality. And the next thing is self-coping thoughts. Okay, thoughts like this too shall pass. Tell yourself that. You can say it out loud, and even better, just write a list put it on the wall where you can see it during PMDD. For instance, during PMDD, I like to be in my room and just not talk to anyone. So yeah, I have a list of something I can look at and make me feel better, make me feel valid. Okay, so like this too shall pass, or I can learn a lot about myself through this suffering. Okay, or this is my disorder, this is not me, and I have the capability and capacity to handle this situation. It is not permanent, it will pass, and I've always handled it, and it always passed. Okay, something like this. Okay, whatever that you feel resonate with. The third thing is make a list of contact numbers for emergency and a hotline. I know hotline is something that is very hard to do, but I've done it once. It actually helped me. I never did really believe in it, but it actually helped me once. So you might want to do that. Or if you're not the kind of person to talk to strangers, you can talk to your friends. You can contact your family members. Just someone to bring you back to reality and get you out of your head. Okay? And the last one, I love this the most because it consistently helped me. Radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is a term coined by a psychologist. Maybe one day I'll make a video about radical acceptance. Okay, so it's basically to accept my situation completely. My situation, my emotions, my physical condition at that very moment, completely without judgment. This will take some practice, but it's very useful. So it's basically, okay, I'll just quote a bit from this book, okay? It means that radically accepting something doesn't mean that you give up and simply accept every bad situation that happens to you. Some situations in life are unjust, but for other situations in life, you share at least some responsibility. This is the book that I quote from. It just means that we did not choose to have PMDD, but it happens. So you have done everything you can. You've consulted doctors. You have done every single medication. You have done every single exercises. Everything you have done, but you still have this disorder. So it is not your fault. And it is perfectly normal to feel terrible about our situation. So radically accept those emotions and this unfairness, even though it's unfair. But we can take responsibility to care for ourselves and change this moment. Okay, so acceptance for what is, and then have that peace of mind and wisdom to change what you can and accept what you cannot change. So basically that's my experience and what I do. I hope that it will help you in one way or another, and thank you for listening. See you next time.